Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're up dead early on another fantastic Friday. It is the first Friday in February, and we're so happy you can join us. My name is Mark Daniel.
And I'm Davrielle Gardner, wishing a happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday, everybody. It is the first Friday of February, and it is a frigid Friday. It is cold this morning, right?
I don't know if it was as cold as yesterday, or maybe I was late, so I was running. I didn't feel the cold.
Oh, you were running? You were exercising?
Yes.
All right, good job. See, I haven't started yet. I just told Godfrey the last time I worked out was right here on the show with Corey. So I need to get back at it. Good job.
I wanna say, because while you weren't here, I was inspiring everybody with exciting inspiration to work out, and so I have been cooking my food that I got from the farmer's market. I've cooked almost all of the meals that we've had for the week. We're trying not to eat out in 2024, and I've been exercising. I'm feeling good.
Great job. Great job. I have done none of that. I told myself I'm not buying any more food. If anybody see me at any place buying food, just come and give me a little tap and say, farmer's market, please. Right?
There you go.
I got to switch over. But it is the first Friday of February, everybody. We're so happy you're with us. Depending on where you're at and what you celebrate, this can be the month of love. This is Black History Month. It is Heart Disease Awareness Month. There's so many things. Anything else happening this month?
I think you pretty much covered it.
That's it, right? And everybody who finally got paid after 13 weeks of January, I'm sure you are quite happy. So thank you for joining us again. We know it's dead early and you could be wrapped up in your bed, but you are here with us.
We also want to wish a happy birthday
yes.
or happy belated to Brenda Knowles. And then I, of course, want to wish a happy birthday to Lisa Daniels.
There you go. Happy birthday to you both. Another lap around the sun. Enjoy your day to the fullest and continue to shine, right? We got a great show for you all today. Thanks for being with us. We'll continue our conversation about catalysts for advancing Bahamian business in our Economic Pulse segment. And we'll also find out about Rollezz Villas Beach Resort in Cat Island.
Katherine Coakley is here to talk about healthy, sustainable eating. And Dr. Karlos Thomas will join us to discuss raising healthy children. It's February and love is in the air, so we invite you to enter our Valentine's Day contest to win a weekend stay for two at Comfort Suites, Paradise Island. Couples, we want you to tell us how you knew your partner was the one for you. Please send a 2-paragraph answer to athompson@tclbahamas.com. Deadline is Friday, February 9th. Please include a phone number and a photo. Winners will be asked to appear on the show on February 12th, which is a Monday. But now, let's check on weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by NUA, the hands-on agency.
Thank you, Davrielle, and good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather, we do have a weak high pressure across the island, so that's going to give us some light winds. Still contain those cooler temperatures nighttime. Slight warming trend into Sunday before another front moves in here sometime on Monday, and that's reinforcing on Tuesday of next week. So prepare for another cool week next week. Any other day, partly sunny and mild. High temperature reaching 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, a few patchy clouds around, still on the cool side. Your low going at 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean. Barbados 86 and 75. In Jamaica 86 and 74. In Trinidad 91 and 74. And the Turks and Caicos Islands 71 and 77 and 68. Across North America, Atlanta 63 and 39. In Boston 43 and 24. In Miami 74 and 61. Dallas, Texas 68 and 55. And Toronto, Canada 38 and 26. As you go to the weekend, lovely weekend start weather-wise, but by Sunday evening, an area of low pressure moves northeast, north of the islands, and that's going to increase our showers and possible thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas on Sunday evening, Monday into Tuesday morning. That cool front moves through on Monday evening across the islands, and a reinforcing one will pass through on Tuesday. That will push all the weather out of the area. Those winds pick up also, the increasing winds, so we have an advisory posted those you notice. And for the most part, ahead of that front, we're looking at mid to upper 70 daytime, in the mid-60s at nighttime. After that front passes, We're looking at lower 70s daytime, upper 50 to lower 60s at nighttime for most of next week. That pressure on first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Gabrielle.
Thanks, Godfrey. New year, new you. And surely that means taking a look at your diet. Here to talk to us about healthy, sustainable eating is Katherine Coakley, owner of Bahama Foodie. Good morning, Katherine, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you for having me.
So what is Bahama Foodie all about?
So Bahama Foodie is a plant-based brand here in Nassau, Bahamas. What we do is we help Bahamians, tourists, and those that just come to our country or reside in our country to eat well. And that's just by including more veggie-based diet or including more plants within their diet. What we do is provide food, meal plans for individuals, for families, for corporate events. We found that even some corporate companies, they put their employees on a challenge for wellness morale and just to add more activity to their days. And so we just help to accomplish this through their diet of using our meal plans on a weekly basis. We provide 3-day meal plans and 5-day meal plans for persons who say, you know what, I just want to eat a little better. I may not want to be plant-based or vegan, but I do realize that I need some help in preparing my dishes. My schedule requires a little bit more convenience, and so they call us.
I love it. So how long have you been doing this, and I mean, it seems like you've been having an overwhelming response.
Yeah.
But what has the response been like from the public?
The response has been overwhelming, especially coming down to the end of last year into the new year, because of course January is kind of reset month where persons are taking their health a little bit more seriously. Persons want the new start. And so Bahamians have showing up. They've been showing up, and I think I always say in a post-COVID climate, I believe that it really changed us at our core, and we're recognizing that it's important for us to pay more attention to what we're putting in our bodies.
Why are plant-based meals better for us?
Because any meal that's veggie-based has more nutrition that the body needs, right? And so you can read studies throughout Harvard, throughout Oxford, throughout different facilities or research companies that has really spoken to the anti-inflammation in the plants that we eat, the prevention against cancer, obesity, mental health. It's all tied to what you eat. There are things like genes that play a role, but the reality is we still have to be better stewards of our body, and we have to ensure that we're giving our body what it needs to sustain us, sustain our activities, sustain where we're going or what we're doing. And so a plant-based diet I don't believe it's the superior diet, because everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's budget is different. Everybody's cultural gravitations are different. However, I do believe and I do encourage persons adding more vegetable-based meals to their food, because our body needs the nutrition density that's found only in plants.
You know, as I was preparing for today's interview, I was reading through the script last night, and my husband was there. And he heard me say Bahama Foodie, and he was like, who's that? I was like, you remember Katherine? So I have to endorse your food. I have to endorse the fact that we went to your booth at the Bahama Culinary Festival, and you had these chicken, oyster, mushroom sliders, and pretty much until the evening was done, he had no idea that he wasn't actually eating chicken. So you really have found a way to make, you know, favorites that people like, chicken sliders, but you've made them, you've reimagined them. I watched your page. I saw that you made, it was beef again out of, or stir-fried beef out of mushrooms. Why is this something that you were so passionate about? Not just eating vegan meals, but making them, I guess, more palatable, more exciting for other people?
I'm a Bahamian. We love good food. And one of the things I realized is that for me, this started as a health journey where I was dealing with a lot of inflammation in my body. And it took me a long time to really begin to enjoy the meals that I were eating, because at that time, you're just eating for health reasons, right? But as I grew, I realized that if this is going to be the way I eat forever, I need to enjoy it, right? I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on the family events. Everyone's eating the peas and rice, the coleslaw, macaroni. I'm like, how do I now take that and provide an alternative where it's less starch, less processed sugar, less meat intake, more vegetable, but I do not lose the essence of the flavor and the cultural component that really connects us as a people. And so that's what I used. And I've been very much just practicing and trying out new things and experimenting from then.
So what are some of the most popular meals that you offer?
The oil burger is definitely a popular one that your husband had because it resembles meat a lot. And, people just kind of gravitate towards street food, burgers, sandwiches, and stuff like that. People really like when I do bowls, like the Mexican bowl with black beans. People like the peas and quinoa. Quinoa is a grain that a lot of people kind of don't really gravitate towards because we're so used to rice. We're a heavy rice culture. But I tell people, especially persons who have diabetes, who want to kind of lower their glucose but add more fiber to that diet, quinoa is a healthy carb but also a healthy fiber component to add. And so rather than having the rice all the time, I kind of switch it up and I'll do peas and quinoa, and I'll cook it just like I cook rice. And that in itself is impacting you in a really positive way. And so the bowls, the peas and quinoa, people love the soups. Could you imagine Bahamians eating soup without meat? But our pumpkin soup and our pea soup is a crowd fave. And there's so many things I believe that what we've been able to do is really innovate and to create possibilities of food. So people are still constantly really trying new food that we create because our menu changes weekly. And we have it that way is because we want to show the array possibilities of the food that we can eat. And so people are gravitating towards one thing, but they're also excited about what we're doing for the weeks to come.
So you talked about meal prep as well as catering. If somebody wants to eat food fresh from the Bahama Foodie, how do they do that?
So we are online based. We cook from a kitchen. And then we deliver throughout the island. Like I said, we provide 3-day and 5-day meals because we understand that people don't always say they want to commit to 5 days of plant-based lunches, right? And so we're like, okay, we're going to give you 3 days and you're going to see how it is and feel it out. And so you can go to our website, which is www.helloBahamaFoodie.com. You can place your order. Everything is done online. You check out, you order, you add to cart, just everything is done online. We get all the notifications, we get your PIN location, we get your address, and when the day of delivery, our driver reaches out to you and brings your food. So you don't never have to go in the lunchtime traffic. You don't have to worry about eating the same over and over or betraying yourself because you're like, I'm not going to buy this fast food no more. And then you realize that you're on the line. Okay. And so
how did I get here?
How did I get here? Okay. I was supposed to be eating healthy today. And so to disqualify all of that, we're helping really for you to stick to your goals while enjoying your food.
I love that. I love that you're pairing things like convenience, really, because convenience is one of those things that traps us.
Yeah.
In those loops with those unhealthy foods. I can speak for myself, but being organized, finding those solutions, and not necessarily, me researching how do I make vegan food taste good. You can just go to the Bahama Foodie. She can handle it for you. Plant-based lunches, plant-based catering for events, and we're getting heart healthy in 2024, especially since it's Heart Awareness Month.
Yeah, and you're supporting a Bahamian, right? This move is global at this point, and you won't find another Bahamian cooking the food that's native to your country in a plant-based way. You can go and find salads everywhere. You can find quinoa, but you ain't gonna find a peas and quinoa like peas and rice. You ain't gonna find an oyster mushroom made like crack conch. So it's also for us. I did it for us as a people. I also did it for the tourist that's coming here who has to eat a certain way. But I really wanted just to invite Bahamians to say, listen, it tastes good. Just come. It makes your body feel good. It tastes good. It's convenient, and it just really helps you to achieve the overall wellness goals that you have.
I love it. I feel convicted this morning. I'm going to find my way to, maybe we'll start with a 1-day plan of the plant-based diet. But Bahama Foodie is going to hear from you soon, and I hope that they will hear from you soon. Katherine, I just want to say thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to serving you.
Yes. And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com. Meet Leno, your bridge to the future. Wealth planning, investments, corporate services, trust services, pension administration, fund administration, outsourced accounting, and payroll. When you think of financial solutions, think of Leno. Local or international, company or individual, Leno can help. Our team of skilled professionals has the experience and expertise needed for you to strive. Your goals are our goals and our priority. Leno will guide you to the right financial solution with the knowledge, resources, and support you need. Give us a call at 242-396-3225 or email us at info@lenobahamas.com to get started. Visit our website, www.lenobahamas.com, for more information today. Leno, your bridge to the future.
African Things is your one-stop shop for everything African. Make a bold fashion statement with vibrant colors and intricate patterns inspired by the beauty of Africa. Find trendy contemporary looks for every occasion and enjoy custom tailoring. Shop jewelry, purses, art, cosmetics, and much more. African Things is located in the Dugard Plaza, Palmdale, next to McDonald's. Open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come get your African Things.
Hi, I'm Ria Christina, and I'm super excited to be the new host of You and Your Money, local international banks that has actually been closing some of their branches. It actually gives me an opportunity to share my views, my take on the financial matters. Even when we think about what's happening globally, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of having to educate business owners as to the importance, the economic impact, and how it is that we can look at improving the Bahamian economy. $1 billion. That's how much we spend every year importing food in this country. It also gives me an opportunity to have conversations, and that's meaningful conversations with thought leaders within our community, even having to see how it is that we can work together, or even the opportunities that may exist for many Bahamians. So I'm excited to be here and looking forward to the great conversations that's to come.
Welcome back. What are the catalysts for advancing Bahamian businesses? We started a conversation about this at the Bahamas Business Outlook last week with our business panel, and now we're letting our Economic Pulse advisor, Karlos Mackey, jump in on the discussion. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise, Brother Karlos.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mark, for having us.
Yes, man. Always glad to have you here. Always
Indeed.
appreciate your insights.
Indeed.
Let's dig in. So the World Bank uses 10 topics to calculate a country's ease of doing business ranking. And this is whether or not the nation has created a climate for positive business growth. Topics, for example, include protecting minority business owners, trading across borders, and getting electricity. Speak to the fact that we are ranked 119 out of 191 countries, number one being the best.
So I think the reality is that the ranking reflects our reality in a very patent way. Unfortunately, there are some things that we do have to work on here. The cost of doing business and getting started in business are still higher than what they should be, really what they need to be. As far as the legal protections around doing business, we have a very, what we would call strong and independent legal system that allows that part of it to be fine. So I don't say that we don't have those things as far as protections for minority owners and so forth. Our bigger issue, though, is the realities around the cost of labor, the cost of electricity, really the cost of inputs, but more than that, the red tape even with starting certain kinds of businesses, and even keeping your business, as we would call it, compliant now, because everybody who is in business is understanding that this word compliance has become a big thing. So there is unfortunately a lot of red tape here, and it takes a while actually to get started to be compliant. So we have some things to work on, but overall I would still say the Bahamas is one of the best places to do business once you can actually get started and navigate all of the red tape.
So let's dig into that. Let's say they're making plans to start a new business. What kind of decisions and how many decisions lead up to starting a new business? And is the process straightforward?
The process is not always straightforward. There are lots of decisions that you have to make. One of the decisions is whether or not you're going to trade as a sole proprietor in your name or doing business as, or whether you're going to get what we would call a corporate form. In our context, the most common corporate form is a limited company limited by shares. That is a important decision for a lot of people because there is expense to that. Most times you have to have a lawyer or corporate service provider prepare those documents, file them, you become registered, and that is an annual expense, right? That's not something that goes away. So as long as you continue to trade in that form, that's going to be an annual expense. So when you think about things like that just to get started, then you may have permits and different things that you have to get done, depending on the kind of business that you're in. You also have to think about who is it that I'm going to employ. The reality is we have a situation where for some parts of our labor force, the cost and the productivity don't necessarily match up, right? We're not necessarily always getting the right kind of value from what you invest in labor. And that's a real discussion that we have to deal with in a holistic way in terms of both in our education system as it exists and what we're going to do around adult education, right? And some of the deficiencies we have there. You also have things, as we already mentioned, the cost of energy and other inputs. A cost that sometimes we don't really want to think about is the cost of transactions, right? Banking and financial services are expensive relatively in this country for different reasons, but those are factors depending on the kind of business that you're in you have to think about. And unfortunately, the environment that we're in now as far as safety and security is an expensive environment. So if you have a storefront, these are the kinds of things that you have to think about. There are myriad other things, but for a lot of businesses, if you think about labor, the cost of energy, the cost of staying compliant, and unfortunately nowadays, the cost of security and safety, those are real costs that you have to account. And I won't even get started on things like rents, right? We have a very expensive real estate market. That is not just on purchasing, that's also on commercial rents. So there's a lot of factors that you have to take into account when you think about going into business in the Bahamas.
Sounds like I need you as my advisor when I start my little tuck shop, man. I start my little tuck shop, sell a couple of peanut and cup. In what ways is the government creating a climate that is conducive for business, and in what ways are they not?
Well, I think a lot of that depends on your particular perspective. What I can say is that I think the government has done a great job, and this is not simply this administration. I think there's been a commitment from what we would call the last several administrations, including this one, with regard to Access Accelerator and the SBDC. I think that they're doing a great job in allowing that entity to really become from a preparatory and support place and a screening place, a great place for a small business administration. There is, in my view, more that can be done to provide them with greater funding so that there can be different sizes of businesses, because they're really at this point dealing with what I would call micro businesses, primarily really small businesses that are getting funding for the most part under $100,000. There is a gap in our what we would call ecosystem for businesses that need really between what I would call $100,000 and $1 million. Right. We don't really have a small business administration or an entity that really gets that side of the market, that piece of the market. So I think that's something that we would need to work on. As far as things that we do have to deal with, the reality is red tape here, and I don't mean that that's something that this particular administration is doing necessarily, because again, this is something that has been extant in our environment for a long time. But we do have to deal with the fact that no matter how much we get these different budget communications and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, the red tape here to do business is still really and truly, it's monumental. You have, sometimes you can be waiting for certain kinds of approvals for various lengths of times. I'll give you an example. If you are a contractor that's doing a project, right? Let's say that you build subdivisions and you need a, what do we call a drawing to be completed, or sorry, to be inspected and approved. That's a, let's call it a 2-story drawing. There are reports that you have some contractors that are waiting 4 months, right? So think about what that does to you as a contractor, what that does to your cash flow, all of those things. Contractors and architects have to deal with that kind of delay. So think about what that does to our economy, even when you think about the workers that potentially could be working and getting stuff done. The land is not a problem. The buyers and their money are not a problem. The contractor and his readiness and the architect, they are not problems. So the issue is the red tape.
Tell me, in some of these changes that have been happening in terms of the ease of doing business, do you think that there's been enough stakeholder consultation, or there can be more of that from the business community?
So I think that stakeholder consultation is always a tricky thing, insofar as the amount of opinions and diverse opinions that are existing in the population can sometimes unnecessarily bog a decision process down. I think what we probably need to do a better job of is, from the perspective of changing policy, say, listen, these are policy options. There are 3 things that we think are possible in a situation like this. Give us your feedback as an industry on which of the 3 and why, right? And you give that a very defined time period, whether that's a 30-day, 60-day, whatever it may be. And you also don't just give that to industry directly, you also allow the public to weigh in. Right. I think if we have that kind of consultative government where you say, listen, these are the 3 options that we have in front of us, here is what we think in each option, why it would make sense, but we want to get your feedback. And when you make a decision, say why, after you've gotten that feedback, you've chosen option A, B, or C. Yeah. I think that would help.
Yeah, it's an open dialogue, and like you said, there's it can't get bogged down if everybody's tossing in their opinions. We unfortunately have to go. Like, I sit here and I feel like we could go on for the next hour. But just as we wrap up, just want to thank you again for coming on the show, providing us with your insight, providing us with some hope that the ease of doing business is improving. Our government is working on it, and I can call on you when I need my $1 million for my tuck shop.
Well, listen, I unfortunately don't have the public purse, but again, hopefully our friends at SBDC, they'll get some more financial support, because they're doing a really good job down there.
Awesome. Thanks again, Karlos, for joining us this morning, man.
Indeed. Thank you for having me, Mark.
Appreciate you. You're watching Mamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
The Euro device is very affordable. It allows you to increase your internet connectivity. You are able to do away with the buffering, say goodbye to the dead spots. It gives them a much more stable connection. Their customers are able to view their digital menus. The establishment is able to stream. It allows for everyone, the customers and the business operators, to have a much more robust and stable internet connectivity.
Hey Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while dealing with my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been? Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're up dead early on another fantastic Friday, the first Friday of February, and we're at the mid-show. Thanks for sticking with us. My name is Mark Daniels.
And I'm Davriel Gardner, hoping that you are still having a happy Friday, and a special happy Friday to Dash Designer Boutique, who has supplied me with this lovely ensemble that I am wearing today. So shout out to you.
Shout out to Dash. And then we also got African things in the
Yes,
house.
tea.
Wearing my gobs as my son. He loves this outfit. He told me they're my African pajamas. I then cut his inheritance because he said that, because that just damaged my ego. But hit up African things for all of your royal gobs and everything from the continent, all the colors and all the vibes. I enjoyed that first segment. I am officially hungry.
Absolutely.
I don't know why she came on and brought all those wonderful pictures and there's no food here.
I asked her where the plant-based breakfast was this morning. She said next time. So we'll definitely have to have her on again so we can sample some of that Bahama foodie food.
Yeah, when you eat plant-based, you just feel lighter. I don't get the itis that everybody knows, fill in the blank, right? And you can immediately feel the energy.
Fatigue syndrome.
Ethnic fatigue, right? So make sure to find yourself plant-based meals and hit up Bahama Foodie. And I also enjoy talking to Karlos about in our Economic Pulse segment. Always a good time. Always learn a lot from him. I have a quick question for you. We have the Valentine's competition that's coming up, and there's a question that's been given to our viewers, which is, how did you know that your significant other was the one? I want to know.
Wow. Okay, I'll try to condense this as quickly as I can. There were two things. I think I've let it be known that I'm a spiritual person. And so I thought, I started thinking, I'm like, maybe I'll keep this guy. And I said, God, I need a sign. And I said, the sign is butterflies. And fast forward, the next day, I found a butterfly, a live butterfly, trapped under a box in my kitchen. And I'm like, okay, if I've ever gotten this sign, it's this one. And another one was, we went on a boat adventure. I'm the world's okayest swimmer. I'm not a good swimmer. I'm okay, I can survive. And it was a rocky day on the boat. And I had to decide whether I would jump in the water. And I saw my husband now, Drew, he was in the water. And I thought to myself, if I jump in this water, he won't let me drown. And I was like, I'm gonna marry this man.
Oh, I like that. Thank you for sharing that with us. Very touching. And we also want to hear your stories, everybody. So make sure you do sign up for our competition. Send in your paragraph about how did you know your partner was the one for you. I'll drop my story on Monday.
Yes, oh, don't worry. We weren't going to let you get away, Mark. I know.
You can save it.
You put us in an emotional headspace.
So thanks again, everybody. We got a great second half coming up. Dr. Karlos Thomas is here, and he's here to discuss how do we raise heart-healthy children.
And we're going to find out more about Rollezz Villas Beach Resort in Cat Island. But before all that, we'll take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by NUA, the hands-on agency.
Thank you, Davriel. Good morning, Bahamas. Yes, take a look at weather at sunrise. You got a weak high pressure system across the islands, and that's going to support the very light winds. Also, still continue those cooler temperatures through the weekend, although a slight warm up. And then we have an area of low pressure that will move across north of the northwest Bahamas sometime on Sunday evening, and that will increase our rain chances Sunday evening, Sunday night, Monday into Tuesday as it moves to the northwest. We push a cold front through on Monday, and reinforcing will pass through again on Tuesday. And so we expect a cool week again next week. In the marine forecast, we do have an advisory posted, and that's because we have some swells. Those winds, light and variable, seas 1 to 3 feet, but those swells will be up to 7 feet both today and tomorrow across the islands. And then on Sunday, I have that front, those winds become southeasterly and increasing 15 to 20 knots, seas building 4 to 7 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. Your tide. Currently have a low tide that happened 6:49 this morning, Next high tide will be at 36 minutes past midday. Lower gain this evening at 6:52. Sunset 5:53 this evening. Rising moon at 6:52. UV index 7. Your water temperature 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And the moon phase last quarter. The external look with all those systems passing through. Pretty good weekend still weather-wise. Partly sunny skies. Mild at daytime, a little slightly cool at nighttime. And then those two front passes through. You have some wet weather on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And those cool temperatures again into the lower 70 daytime, upper 50 to lower 60 at nighttime during next week. That puts a wrap. Final look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Gabrielle.
Thanks, Godfrey. February is Heart Health Month, and today we're going to be talking about raising heart-healthy kids with Dr. Karlos O. Thomas, pediatrician at Dr. Karlos O. Thomas and Pediatric Associates. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. It's nice to be back.
So when you think of heart health, you don't necessarily think of children, but what are some issues that affect the heart health of children?
Let's start at the beginning. The heart starts to beat. You can appreciate a heartbeat as early as 5 to 6 weeks of pregnancy. So it's very important that women plan to get pregnant and make sure they're pretty healthy. So in our community, we have lots of problems with hypertension and diabetes. And a mother who's diabetic, especially poorly controlled, her chance of having a child with heart disease is definitely greater.
Wow.
So you want to prepare yourself to have a healthy child by making sure you have good prenatal care. Now, babies are born with heart conditions sometimes. We call it congenital heart disease. And so for many years now, what we've been doing in the hospital is for every baby before discharge at about 24 hours of age, we do a screening test for heart disease. So that's helped us to pick up some babies who would otherwise have fallen through the cracks.
What are some of the most prevalent issues? Obviously, you mentioned congenital heart disease and I guess pre-existing conditions they would have inherited from their mother. But just in terms of children in the Bahamas, what kind of heart problems are you seeing?
The heart problems we see in the Bahamas are similar across the world. We have children born with what they call a hole in the heart. So VSD, so that means there's a hole and a space in the heart wall. In the midline, and that's very important to detect early. The good news is that most of the ones that we see do not require surgical intervention. But there are some heart conditions which we call cyanotic heart disease, where these babies are blue. If they cry or feed or play, their lips and mouth turns blue.
Wow.
But we shouldn't be missing these babies. We ought to pick these up very early. In the adult population, heart disease comes as a result in part of lifestyle and diet. But in the younger children, they're born with a heart defect, which you need to diagnose very early.
What are some of the symptoms that parents could maybe observe, whether it's an infant or, an older child, to pick up on heart problems?
You know what's interesting? There are many patients with heart conditions who earlier on have no symptoms at all. So the key thing is to make sure that your child sees his or her doctor on a regular basis. So after age 2, every child should see their doctor at least once every year. And during that interaction, the doctor will do a full examination, including listening to the heart.
What are some key ways that we can avoid heart problems? How do we raise a heart-healthy child?
So it's very important to eat healthy. That's a very important thing. It's very important to encourage movement, activity, action, exercise. So many of our children today, spend time on the sofa, in the bed, on their computers, playing. So find some fun sporting activity that your child likes. Could be baseball, swimming, basketball, soccer. But it's very important to get your child moving and active and eating healthy. Healthy meaning a good amount of fruit and vegetable as well.
When we think about the factors that contribute to heart disease, particularly in adults, we talk about things like stress and, circumstantial issues. But a lot of people would assume that kind of thing doesn't affect children. Children are resilient. Children just want to laugh and play. Yes. Does stress play a role in heart disease in children?
Not really. I mean, we all experience stress and our bodies cope with stress. And so stress and too much stress is not a good thing for many reasons, but it doesn't have an impact on heart disease in children.
How can a family create an environment? You know, again, children aren't the biggest vegetable either, even though adults aren't either, but children in particular really don't really care for a lot of the very healthy foods. They are more inclined these days to play on the devices. How do you create a heart-healthy environment for them to grow up in?
That's a great question. The first thing is to model good behaviors in front of our children. So if we're, as adults and parents, aren't eating healthy, don't expect the children to. So we should eat together as much as possible. Try to eat together as often as you can. Model good behavior. Let your child see you consuming fruit and vegetables. Now you mentioned about, or you may have mentioned about fast foods. Those are here to stay, but they have to be managed. So, you know, if a child has something from one of these places once in a while, that's not an issue. But generally, you should encourage healthy eating.
I would say, you know, as a layperson who tries to get information on eating healthy, there seems to be, especially in the social media space, a lot of conflicting information about what a healthy diet looks like. Where can parents find resources on what a healthy diet for their children looks like and what a healthy diet for themselves looks like?
The American Academy of Pediatrics has a website called healthychildren.org. So healthychildren.org is a great resource to go to find lots of information about healthy lifestyle, including diet.
What are the implications, again, you kind of touched on it, but just digging into, I guess, to drive it home for parents of children who don't play outside, who don't play any group sports, who are strictly confined to the video games, to the iPad, to the tablets. What are the, I guess, 10 years down the road, what are we looking at in terms of problems?
Yeah, so many of these heart conditions we see and chronic illness that we see is based on years and years of poor habit and poor choices. So let's go back to what I said earlier, model good behavior. If you make it a family event, go in the park on the weekend, walk together, exercise together, then that makes a big impact. You can't be on the sofa and expect your child to be out exercising.
Right, there's a lot of do what I say, not what I do.
And children pay attention to what we do and they model our behavior.
I get, as parents are starting out this year, they want to set a good example. And I mean, I feel like I already know what you're going to say, but your key advice, just in terms of raising healthy kids in general for parents, what are things that they can put in place?
So a healthy breakfast is a good place to start. Some parents have to leave very early. Fortunately, some schools provide breakfast, but a healthy breakfast is very, very important. Get your child involved in some sport that they enjoy. Figure out what they like. If they like swimming, great. Baseball, soccer. You can't force them to do something they don't enjoy. It won't last. Lead by example. Be a good role model for your child. Let him or her see you eat healthy and exercise. That's very, very important. And of course, regular checkups with your doctor.
I was just going to say that. So in terms of those regular checkups, how often, once again, and what does that process look like to ensure that they're meeting all of their milestones?
In the first 2 years, you see your pediatrician quite often. You see your pediatrician a week after birth, a month, 2, 4, 6 months, and then every 3 months up to 18 months.
Wow.
After age 18 months, you have a 2-year check. And from age 2 onwards, you ought to see your pediatrician every year until you go off to college.
I feel like, I mean, not that it is that equivalent, but it is just like going to see your dentist on a regular basis, because it's that space in between where those problems develop, where you're not checking in, where you're not getting those updates.
That's correct.
I love it. So any final words for parents as we enter this year of health, or our second chance of the year of health now that we're starting?
Yeah, this is Heart Month. This is Valentine's Month. Love your child by making sure they have healthy lives. We speak about it all the time, it's almost cliche, but if you want to have a healthy adult, you have to be a healthy child. So start inculcating good habits. Exercise, eating, reading together, less screen time. Have your child moving around in fun activities, and that'll make a huge difference in their development.
And if parents want to bring their children to your office just to get that regular checkup, just to do some screening to see if there are any problems, how do they get in contact with you?
Pediatric Associates, number 6 Collins Avenue. We're right across from Doctor's Hospital and also in Case Village.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
I hope your February is full of love and many healthy hearts.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
are 3 young people who stopped attending high school and got disengaged in their educational journey due to the pandemic. Today, they are proudly taking their walk all over the place because they took advantage of BTVI's Smart Start initiative. All high school students in New Providence and the Family Islands can participate in free hands-on learning to improve employability, learn basic literacy and numeracy skills, and earn a BTVI certificate in automotive mechanics, beauty and construction trades, or fashion in only 14 weeks for full-time participants or 24 weeks for part-time. Don't count yourself out. Do what they did and enroll today. Email smartstart@btvi.edu.ds or call 502-6300 so you can take your walk anywhere in life.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Alive Business SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Alive Business at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome back. It is the month of love, so maybe you're looking for a little getaway with your significant other, with a friend, or just a getaway by yourself. The last time we were in Cat Island, we visited Rollezz Villas Beach Resort, and our Kari Albury has that story. Enjoy.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Yvonne Roll, and I am part owner of the beautiful Rollezz Villas Beach Resort on Cat Island, Old Bite Beach, which is one of the places that God specially set aside for just you.
Bahamas at Sunrise visited Rollezz Villas in Cat Island recently. Cat Island is an island full of charm with lots of unique sights and attractions for visitors to enjoy.
Cat Island is very unique. I think it's very different from all of the other islands. For example, we have the highest peak in the Bahamas. Our Mount Everest is here, which is 206 feet high, and when you climb on top of that and overlook the city from back to front, left to right, it's a sight like you have never seen. We have the rolling hills, and not only do we have the rolling hills, we have the north side, which has complete pink sand, and you know Cat Island is about 48 miles long. Well, you just think of pink sand going all along that side. And then you have the Caribbean, which is just beautiful, pure white sand with tranquil waters. There's colors of different colors and hues of blues. And then we have what you call the healing pond. We call that the Dead Sea. You come in it, you cannot sink, and I wish you guys have had the chance to visit it. You can go in and you can sit and you can cross your legs. We have had guests that have come here and have gone to the healing pond, have had aches and pains, and you come out ache-free. Now I can attest to that. Then we have the bat caves. You can go down into the bat cave and climb down, and there are tons of bats to see. We have lots of sites. We have the Mermaid Hole. We have up north, we have the beautiful creeks where you can bone fish. We have creeks in the south as well. So it's a haven for bone fishers as well. And not only that, this is the place where Sidney Poitier made famous. So you can go and see the site where he was born. Then we have a place where you can go and collect sea glass. It's a beautiful place to collect shells. So there's a multiple of things to do, the multiplicity of things to do here.
But the people are the greatest attraction.
The vibe of Cat Island, the people. The people are absolutely, genuinely friendly. And the atmosphere is conducive to family, to romance, to the adventurer. That's Cat Island.
Rollezz Villas boasts an authentically Bahamian flavor.
Thinking Bahamian. What Bahamian like? Most Bahamian like colors. We grew up, you know, not rich. But what was one thing our parents did? You had to go out on Saturday morning, pick the flowers, you had to bring them into the house. People colored their house brightly. And so what we wanted to do was bring the island flavor into our resort and to have a little uniqueness and have some aesthetics to it as well. So not only are the outside colorful, we are colorful on the inside, but it's not a brash colorful. It's a delightful colorful, and I can say that when guests come here, you know what they say? This is what I picture the Bahamas looking like. And so that gives us some validation that we are doing what is right for our industry here on Cat Island. My sister Margaret is very good with her hands, and so she does all of our sewing. And so in everything she puts straw on the cushion, straw on the bed heads, straw everywhere. So that's important to show a part of the Bahamian heritage.
Guests will feel safe, secure, and loved at Rollezz.
A good selling feature for us, we live here. So the guests, we are reachable to the guests anytime, night or day. And we let them know we're just a knock away. If you're having a problem, if there's anything that concerns you, we are here. So we're here to add an added safety measure to them where they feel comfortable. That's one of the things. And the other thing is, we truly love people. We truly love people, and I think when you truly love people, that emanates out of you to the people. And so you make a connection. Our secret is love people, treat them the way you would want to be treated. I always want to be treated very well like royalty. And what does the Bible say to us? Do unto others, right? So you treat them good, go over and beyond, fall down, get up, run back and find out, anticipate their needs, get to know them, and before they can ask you for something, you supply it, because you get to know the little nuances about them, and so you try to please them. It's all about pleasing your guests. And I say to people out there who want to come back home and do something, come and embrace your heritage. This is your place, Cat Island. It's going to take us as Bahamians to build it up, no matter who comes, no matter what comes. We are the people. The guests want to meet us. They want to interact with us. And so you come, but what you need to do most of all, have a love for people and have a love for service, because service is key. And that's what we are lacking in many of the places. Love the people, love them, and give great service. And one thing I want to plug in as part of our success is, it comes from the Bahamas Island Promotion Board with the promotions that they give. I can't neglect to ever say that, because they have been very instrumental in helping us with our growth. So I would say to any hotel out there, if you haven't gone to the Bahamas Island Promotion Board, run. They can only help you.
Accommodations and amenities at the property are exquisite.
Okay, the total rundown, we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Then we have 5 or maybe 6, 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. They all have either kitchen or kitchenette. And then we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. We have a restaurant. We have a little bar section, a little breakfast section off. And then to come very shortly in another month, we have a building where we're going to have our little get together in the evenings and a bar, and we are calling it the Yellow Door. On the beach, we have cabanas and we have umbrellas. We also have beach chairs, we have tables, we have hammocks, we have games that you can play like bocce as a group, we have cornball, or we have the horse game. So there's lots of stuff that you can do. We have the kayaks, we have paddle boards. So we invite you to come to Cat Island. Enjoy what Cat Island has to offer. Enjoy what Rollezz has to offer. We welcome you. We're looking forward to hosting you, man. Come.
Contact Rollezz for more information.
You can get in contact with us. Our website is www.rollezz.com, or our telephone numbers 525-4588 or 557-0005. You just call and we'll answer.
For Bahamas at Sunrise, I'm Kari Aubrey.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
African Things is your one-stop shop for everything African. Make a bold fashion statement with vibrant colors and intricate patterns inspired by the beauty of Africa. Find trendy contemporary looks for every occasion and enjoy custom tailoring. Shop jewelry, purses, art, cosmetics, and much more. African Things is located in the Dugard Plaza, Palmdale, next to McDonald's. Open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come get your African Things.
Well, it has been another fabulous Friday here on Bahamas at Sunrise. We have had such an exciting show talking about getting healthy in 2024. If you need a sign, this is your sign that this is the time to focus on eating right, on exercising, on getting your finances right, and then also scheduling some time to have some fun, some rest and relaxation, which will all add up to a happy, healthy 2024.
Sound like I need to let you plan like 2024. You got it all figured out. Thanks for that, Dav, and thanks to you for sticking with us this morning here in Bahamas at Sunrise. It's a cold morning, but you are with us. Once again, it's February, so some might be celebrating the month of love, some celebrating Black History Month, some recognizing Heart Disease Awareness Month. But all in all, you are here, so give thanks for life, and I hope you have a great weekend, right? Be productive, go to dinner, plant your seeds, start to prepare the ground. We have to grow our food, everybody. You see, if you're talking about the farmer's market, grow your food in the backyard. Shout out to all the farmers across the Bahamas, backyard farmer, commercial farmer, you're doing animals, vegetables, anything, good job. We need more of y'all.
Cosign.
Cosign.
Have a great weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody. See you Monday.